Friends. Artist Esther L. Jones here, ready for our talk for tonight. We call it Pj-Talc because I wear pajamas and we talk. And it also stands for Pajama Talk, Pajama Time Art Live Chat. I have to remember that every time. And I am drinking tea, and tonight it is milk oolong again, because I don't know if you realize this, but if you get really good quality tea, you can steep it more than once, sometimes up to 6 times. So I love that milk oolong, and this just happens to be the last little bit. So I'm going to steep it till there's nothing left and enjoy it. Let's see, how did today go? Today was extremely busy compared to some of my other days. I'm glad to say that my schedule is getting a little bit more complicated because I am getting more students and opportunities for teaching and sharing my music and making money. So those are important things. And so this morning I taught a class, ukulele class, to some young people. And then I ran quickly over to the gallery where I took a drawing class from my art buddy. And I can always use more help drawing. Drawing is, I love doing it. I love it. But I still need lots of practice at it. Then I came home and I took a little rest, and then I had to go back and teach a piano lesson and a Zoom ukulele lesson. So I'm getting lots of ukulele in. I always go over every day to visit with my parents and just check on them, see how they're doing. So I spent a little bit of time over there and was invited to supper. So I've had my supper and I am ready to talk to you about in art. It's not what you know, it's what you believe. So I hope you're drinking something delicious tonight, and let's salute one another. Cheers and a sip. And ready to talk. So we've got 2 more nights, tonight and tomorrow night, before this week is over, and this topic, we'll switch out this topic. I'm not sure what our topic will be next time, so if you have next week, so if you have a good idea, please just go ahead and drop that in the chat. So let's talk about what we've said so far. First of all, we've talked about the fact that it's not what you know, it's what you believe. We have discovered that you don't have to know how to draw. It doesn't matter what your art teacher told you. You don't have to have any talent. And you can always go back to Tuesday's recording and learn how to draw a stick figure, so you don't ever have to say that again. You never have to tell another artist, well, I wish I could do what you could do, but I can't even draw a stick figure. And that's my little art joke for the week. So those are the things that we've talked about. And then last night we talked about, what have you tried? If you truly have that desire to do something creative, what have you tried? And we discussed the fact that you actually need to spend some time thinking about what it is that inspires you. What are you curious about? What medium of art makes you feel excited to try. I remember I remember it so well, and that's amazing because I am not a person who remembers things very well in the past. Like if you ask me things about my childhood, I probably don't know. But this happened way back in like the 1990s, early 1990s. And I happened to be paging through a magazine. Now, for those of you who are too young, you might not know what a magazine is. Okay? We used to get these paper books that had articles and stuff in them. And instead of scrolling on a screen, we actually went through the pages. And they had pictures in them. And in this particular one, there was an article about pottery or a potter. I just remember very clearly the picture of the pottery and thinking to myself, wow, I think it would be really cool to learn how that's done. And I turned to my husband, who was still alive at the time, and showed him the picture. And I said, man, I'd like to learn how to do that. And he said, no problem. The college where we live has pottery classes. And I was so excited. And I actually did go and take pottery classes. I fell in love with throwing pots on a wheel to the extent that eventually he built me a wheel so that I would have one. But my kids were really young, and pottery is one of the most expensive art mediums to get into because you need a wheel. Those are expensive. You need clay. You need an endless source of clay. And you also need a kiln, and those are expensive as well. So over time, once I had taken all the classes that the college offered, eventually we moved, and my interest didn't really fade, but practical considerations kept me from pursuing that. But I did make a lot of pottery. I even sold it. I even had commissions coming in, and it was really awesome while I was still taking at the school and had access to those the wheels and the kilns and the glazes and that sort of thing. So what is it that sparks your curiosity? What would you like to do? It doesn't have to be painting. It doesn't have to be drawing. It doesn't have to be any of those things. It could be fiber arts. It could be crochet. It could be weaving. It could be multimedia, which is really cool because you mix a whole bunch of things, painting and gluing and paper and found objects and stuff like that. There are so many options. So last night, like I said, we talked about what have you tried? And I just want to encourage you to start keeping your ear open to your heart and your eyes open to your heart, and notice when that little spark goes off. Because when that goes off, that's something that you should definitely explore if you really and truly wish you were more creative. If you participated in more art activities. Also, we all need to be lifetime learners. So I think that's a hurdle that especially we as adults kind of have to get over sometimes is that it's okay to be dumb about something again, right? When we're kids, we expect to be dumb about things. But as adults, we somehow get the idea that we should know something about everything. And it's hard to be a lifetime learner if you don't realize that it's okay to be ignorant about something and go and learn about it. So try to cultivate that feeling of being a lifetime learner. What could I learn that's new? Is learning hard? Yes, it's hard. Might you have to kind of stir your brain up and get it working a little harder than it's used to being worked? Yeah, but you're an adult. You get to take it in any size stages you want. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to spend hours and hours digging into it. You can take your time. You can enjoy the learning. You can savor the process. In fact, that's one of my hashtags I put on a lot of my artistic posts is embrace the process. It's just a process and you can enjoy that. Take your time. So maybe you have the idea in your head, well, I don't have a lot of time left. Well, so what if you don't do anything, then that time left is wasted. And if you try to dig in and like get very serious about it and be very disciplined about it, you're only going to sap the joy out of it. Spend what time you do have enjoying what you're doing. Embrace the process. So we have one more chat tonight. One more chat this week on this subject, and I would love to know what you want to talk about. I want to know what mediums you've thought about. All right, so just drop that in the chat. Esther, I have thought that I would really love to learn to draw. Esther, I've thought that I would really enjoy finding out about oil paints. Esther, I have always thought it would be really cool to delve into sculpture. Whatever it is, drop it in the chat. If you're listening on the replay, it would be really cool if you hit hashtags replay, just so I know that you watched it. And let me know what mediums you thought would be really cool to dig into. And we will finish up our discussion of what you believe and how it can help you in your art practice tomorrow night. So this is artist Esther L. Jones signing off by saying, look for the music. Listen for the colors and awaken the wonder in your creativity and your life. Good night.